wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Time to check the song. Lately I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, yeah. Count it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately I just wanna run it
up. Yes indeed, I just wanna run it up. So we got the guys coming, man. Law not gonna be able to make it tonight, but I got you. Big on the way. The OC is also on the way. So, you know, obviously, man, we had the press conference with Brian. And I'm not somebody that believe in a lot of talk. I really don't. I more so want to see what's actually happening. And the real, because you hearing, I hear this a lot. Ooh, I love how he speaks. I just love Brian every time he talks. But it's a lot of fruit that's starting to show that's more than talk now. The Brian culture is real. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to highlight some of that tonight as the guys start coming in. So it's your boy, Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. And we got, obviously, the OC and Big getting ready to come in just a second. So kicking this thing off, man, it's a couple of things I just want y'all to notice. Just kind of just watch the things that he's focusing on. So let's start here. I might have to replay this when the OC come in and when Big come in, but y'all check this out.
The theme of the program is compete every day, and so we find different ways to do it. We look, what's going on in the world. Congratulations to the Stars. I think that's really cool for Dallas professional sports, what they're doing. So at some point in a team meeting, we might shoot at some goals with a hockey stick and maybe a soft puck, not a hard puck. But we look at different ways to compete, and we did something for the Masters the other day that was pretty cool. Had a putt off, but get these guys in different types of environments and ask them to do different things. And it's fun to watch these world-class football players that absolutely suck at shooting free throws. I mean, literally, like, I'm not going to say names, Osa, that really was not very good. But it's fun to watch these guys compete and get outside their comfort level, but to try to one-up each other.
Yeah, so you see that basically Brian is creating an environment of competition. That's the main thing that you hear him focusing on, is that environment of competition. So I heard him echo on this earlier. The OC on this, well, I think you're here now. Here we go. OC, I'm finna kick you in. Let me know when you're ready. I think you're ready now. There we go. All right. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing? Let me get my volume up.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
So I was talking about this obvious culture of competition. Let me play it again, and then we go just kind of talk about it. And then I'm gonna talk about some potentials that could happen to get in the way. But it looked like he trying to really get his way. Let me go back and
Yeah, it's just the central theme of the program is compete every day, and so we find different ways to do it. We look at, what's going on in the world. Congratulations to the Stars.
So he talked about the central theme is to compete every day, right? And he said, and we find different ways to do it. Let me play that again.
What's going on in the world? Congratulations to the Stars. I think that's, really cool every day. And so we find different ways. The central theme of the program is compete every day. And so we find different ways to do it. We look at, what's going on in the world. Congratulations to the Stars.
All right, so let me just pause right there. I got to play the whole thing again. What's your thoughts on that first?
Well, it's a championship culture, number one, because what you find is that with younger coaches that have taken over organizations that have had previous winning history, such as the San Francisco 49ers, such as places like the Eagles, such as places that like Pittsburgh, things of that nature, such as places like the Seattle Seahawks. You saw all those coaches come in and they established a competition culture. The Seahawks underneath Pete Carroll used to have competition Wednesdays where basically you could lose your starting position if you played bad that day of practice before a game. It was crazy. So this gets the best out of your roster. This gets the best out of your teammates. This makes you come into the building every day understanding that your practice reps are important. And like the great Ray Lewis said, he said, look, when practice is hard, games become easy. And so this is the culture that the Cowboys need. It doesn't need to be cush. It needs to be let's go all the time. And so that's how it is. And that's even with Nick Sirianni. I know that people hate for me to mention that, but that's what he successfully has done, even with the Eagles, is create, get a great roster and create competition, man. And it paid dividends with them winning the Super Bowl. So you see the Stars, you see, what went on with them, and you see, okay, hey, man, we want some of that action too. We want to be, elite. We want to be great, just like the Stars were, So, hey, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's intentional. So, and we've been really harping on that during the season for years. We've always had shows every Tuesday, but we called it Competition Tuesday because we was also trying to bring that to the Cowboys, because this has not been pure competition. This has been an environment of, if we pick them, we have to play them. We've been talking about this for years as one of the stalemates of this organization. And with Brian, this is also a chance. We got Big in the house. This is also a chance for us to get it right. This is so interesting because this is so anti what we've been.
That's the most important thing, is if you pick them, you got to use them.
You know what? I hate that. I'm so glad you played that, because at the end of the day, if you pick them, you don't got to use them. If you pick them and they don't play good, you get rid of them. That's the game. That's business. That's how it is. So if they don't play well and they're not better than the other man, even if you didn't pick them, you play the other man because you're trying to do what's best for the team and you're trying to actually win football games. And if that's going to be the culture of Brian Schottenheimer, and I think it is, I think it genuinely is, and that's why
I think he's trying. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, and I think to start, I think that's what he wants to do, and I think and I'm going to lead off a little bit on where I know you're going to go, but that's why it's the tension. That's why it's the tension. It's a real tension there, because and it's between him and Steven, man. But anyway, I'll let Big jump in here, man. Salute to almighty Big Brother, Big Game James in the building, man. What say ye, Big Game James?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Can y'all hear me, first of all?
You sound good.
Okay. Hey, what's up, my dogs? What's up, my dog Boss? What's up, my dog, the OC? How y'all doing? I'm just vibing off y'all. OTAs is here. The shoddy effect is in effect, finally in effect. And what I expect for here and beyond is a lot of energy, because it's new, it's fresh. But I think this was what it wants to be from here on out, where it wants to be high tempo. On the go. We want excitement, enthusiasm, and embarking on something. Hopefully, that'll be a staple for something that'll be here for a long time, because we've been talking about the culture being created, and hopefully, a real culture is being created. What we've all been desperately asking for because we know the culture around the Cowboys. And Schottenheimer's been here since 22, so I feel like this is his time to really imprint what he's been saying.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it. And what's going to end up happening with this is that it's going to be a tension until he gets a body of evidence, a body of proof. And that's all I'm praying for. I hope that he has early success. That's what I hope. I hope he has early success in the preseason, early success with the first 3 to 4 games, so he can even stand 10 toes down more and say, hey, man, my method works. Competition works. You know, being unbiased works, right? Because that is what's best for the Dallas Cowboys. But if there's any hiccups in that, then it's going to be somebody pulling an executive position to say that, no, we just want this. It's not really we. You know when people say that in the meetings, that we really want this, they really mean me. They don't mean we, they mean me. So I really want this. And this is what we're going to do because it's not going right. And hey, this is not working. So I really hope for Schottenheimer's success and his tenure. I hope he has good success early. And I think that's important, that he gets off to a really good start in terms of some of the things that the platitudes that you may have to deal with.
I want to talk about this because I don't think a lot of people see that there are actually major differences between what he's attempting to do and what was the ongoing philosophy here before he was the head coach. So let me play it and we go talk about the differences. Watch this.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. First one's for Brian. You said in Florida that no jobs are being given out on this team. Tyler Booker, is it as easy as throwing him in the right guard competition, or is this kind of a call to the entire offensive line that things could be changed?
Yeah.
So this was April 23rd. So they was like, are you gonna just basically just, throw Tyler Booker, and just rock with that? Watch his ass.
Our motto is compete every day, and that doesn't matter whether you're Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, it doesn't matter. But when you see the traits that this young man has, he's going to come in, he's compete for it. And from every stop, playing in high school, going to IMG, going to Alabama, he's always found his way into the starting lineup. And again, I'm not just excited about the player, I'm extremely excited about the person.
So he talked about, I ain't gonna just give it to him. You got to compete every day. He's found his way into the starting lineup. Then right after that, this is what Jerry said. Watch this. Right after that.
How they're going to compete for the spot.
Hold on.
You have to make a decision when you're paying them how they're going to compete for the spot.
Oh, Jerry.
So when you make a commitment of a first round pick or you make a commitment of a certain salary, you do want competition, okay? Right. But you're betting the house that you've got your winner in any kind of competition out there. Just logic.
And that's honest. That's honest. I'm not mad at Jerry for saying that because that is really Jerry being honest. It's basically, yeah, we are going to have our foot on his tail a little bit. I mean, he is a first-round draft pick. I mean, who drafts a first-rounder and sits him on the bench unless they just stink it up, unless they just screwing up, unless they just absolutely cannot get the job done? No one does that. So Jerry, in that sense, is being honest. However, Schottenheimer is coming from the perspective that, no, I'm not announcing him no starter day one. You got to come in here and you got to fight it. Although in the back of his head, he knows Tyler Booker will be a starter. He knows Tyler Booker is the best, is probably the best right guard on this team, no doubt, right? But Shotty is saying, I'm trying to establish a tempo and a cadence. And Jerry is like, well, hold on. Now, if we pay him that much and we commit this amount of dollars, then we got to do. Jerry is not playing alone. Jerry just got to play along with Shotty. Go along with the game because you can't say that and then it kind of disempowers your coach, just not completely, but slightly to say, okay, I'm a first round pick. Yeah, you can't disempower him. You got to be like, hey, we expected him to be great.
But here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing, man. You talking about an 82-year-old man now. This man is damn near set in his ways now. You keep wanting us, Jerry, to do something. He's not going to do anything different. That's what he does. He's going to do that every single time with every coach. He's going to do that. Like that's what he's going to do. But to OC's point is that he is saying that look, we want competition, but he drafted in the first round. He's a 12th pick. Okay, he getting every first chance to win the job. He's gonna get every chance to win the job because he was picked this high. We have high hopes for him, so we ain't gonna give Brock Hoffman. Brock Hoffman gonna have to be extremely crazy good. That's what I feel like he's saying right there. And I feel like when you heard Schottenheimer saying, look, he's been a starter everywhere he went, so I don't know why he won't be a starter now. That's what I basically heard him say. He been a starter everywhere he went, so I don't know why he wouldn't be a starter now. So we're gonna pencil in because we think he's better than everybody we have here. There's nothing wrong with that. You put him right in the starter spot. We know he's better than everybody else. That's why he got started. That's why he's the 12th pick. So that's why you saw him at OTAs running with the first team because right now he's probably better than everybody else they have. So what's wrong with that? I don't understand that. That's where I'm just coming from, in my opinion. Boston.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Big. I agree with you 2,000%.
What'd you say, boss? What? What'd you say, boss? What?
I said, boss, what are you doing? He throwing me off.
Oh no, I just put you by yourself because you was cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I gave you your own window. So
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those things that I think you said it best, OC. This is gonna be a situation where he gotta have early success, or they gonna probably start interfering. They gonna start going with that.
That's the most important thing is if you pick them, you got to use them.
Because that if you pick them, you got to use them is totally opposite of what Shotty is saying. As Shotty is saying, we don't care about if we picked them. Shotty's saying you got to compete every day. We making that a culture around here. This ain't no because we picked you, we got to play you. And that been an established way of doing it in Dallas for years. This will be the first time that it's actually true competition, like true. Because see, we've seen times where it was not true competition.
Yeah, and I look. I think this, man. I thought this about Tyler Smith when he came in the building. Like Tyler Smith was the best guard and or tackle, one of the best guard and or tackles that was in the room when he walked in the building. Now a lot of people disagree with me on this until they saw the evidence of the season, right? But look, Booker is the same way, man. Like he's coming in, right? And yeah, it's some competition, I guess, in terms of maybe somebody knowing the playbook a little bit better. But in terms of physically what he's able to do, he's competing with himself, and it's just about, nuances, execution, and just, several other things. I won't get into all that right now, but, I'm a go out on not a long limb, an extremely short but sturdy limb, Boss and Big Game James. And I'm gonna go out here and I'm just gonna go ahead and say, he the best right guard that we got on the roster.
Oh yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
It's not even about, to me, just him.
It's not about that, but you're saying it's about hey, we pick him, we got a play him type deal, and then Jerry come in. Now Jerry as the owner, he's gonna do stuff like that. And
right.
It's the way of him putting his foot down with Shotty and just saying, well, hold on, Shotty. I mean, we ain't gonna do nothing crazy here. But I think they're still trying to get to know each other. I think they haven't done a lot of stuff together yet. And I think that
how are they not getting to know each other? He's been there since 22.
As a head coach.
They know each other.
As a head coach.
I'm saying, I know, but how it can't be that much difference. You're just sliding into a more role of you're going to be more I'm more hands on with everything. But I don't see how it's that much difference. I feel like they know each other. That's just Jerry, to me, being Jerry. That's just Jerry always gonna have to come back behind you. And I feel like Schottenheimer, what he's saying, it is competition. But at the back of his mind, I feel like you said it, OC, like I said, he knows Tyler Booker is the best guard. That's why he's going to get the starting spot regardless. We're going to have competition with all these players. But guess what? Some players, like if you automatically see a Michael Parsons, if you've seen the first couple plays, you're like, he probably gonna be the guy. Let's probably go ahead and pencil him in because he's probably gonna be that dude. There's certain players that are just like that, and I feel like there's gonna be competition across the board, but there's gonna be certain players who are like, he's just a better player. He needs to go there. You can say a competition you want, but he's just better than all the competition. So this circumstance might be a little bit different. And like I said, you've seen Tyler Booker already in the first team, and I feel like they know he's the best guy right there. The attitude says it, the mentality says it, and Schottenheimer said in that press conference, he's a great on and off the field, and everywhere he's been the guy. And look at him right here; he's been doing the same thing since. You said it right here, boss, that he was end up going to be the leader on the line of scrimmage, and it looks like he's already taken that mantle. In my opinion, you already see him in the Dallas Stars being the front runner, getting hype, doing all this. I feel like he's getting more and more confidence and getting more vocal, and he's already said, "I ain't worried about being a rookie." He already said, "I'm going to be a leader in this bunch." So I feel like he's grasping hold of it, and that's why I feel like you see him already jumping in that starting lineup because he's taking hold of it and he wants it.
Let me play this, and I'm gonna make one more comment about competition.
With the Athletic, when you take over as head coach, the offense looks a certain way on paper, and now since then you've added guys, free agency, the draft, obviously George.
Yeah, I feel what Tyrone said, and he's a Philly fan. He said Jerry spoke directly about paid players. When you pay a guy, he should get a leg up, and that's the problem. And I 100% agree. And we've seen that give us problems before.
From an offensive play caller standpoint, what do you think of when you're looking at this offense on paper right now?
I love our balance. It's a great question, John. I love our balance. I think you look at what we did from a free agency standpoint, bringing in Miles and Javonte and Rob Jones on offense. We weren't done with that. Move in the first round and take Tyler Booker, who we're really excited about. I need to find out if the Turtles are here. I don't know if the Turtles are here. I need to ask him that. But getting GP was big for us. But, again, it speaks to competition.
Pickens and Booker, and now he get to the real point. It speaks to competition.
We're trying to create competition at every level. What makes Dak Prescott better? Joe Mixon. What makes CeeDee Lamb better? George Pickens. What makes Jaden Blue better? Having Javonte Williams. And so I think as you look at what we're doing, Jerry and Steven and Will have done an incredible job of creating that competition across the board at multiple spots. And that's what you're going to see today. You'll see guys that are taking first-team reps. Are they the starters? No. They're just taking first-team reps today. Do we change it up? Of course we do, because we're all about creating competition. And so I think, I see a unit that's got a ton of playmakers and pieces, but we're going to go based on how our offensive line goes. And they're going to play really, really physical. And we're going to go based on how our offensive line goes. Pieces, but we're going to go based on how our offensive line goes. And they're going to play really, really physical. They're going to be tone setters, if you will. And that's very exciting.
Ooh. So the thing I want to say is this is something that I really hope he has his way with this. Not just this year. I want him to have 3 years of being able to have a competition environment. Regardless of where somebody's drafted, regardless of somebody's paid, he's trying to create an environment to where you got to earn it every day and you got to win your job every day. That's going to make the whole group max out. If you really can be an undrafted guy and come in here and beat out a first rounder, if you can really be a Purdy and come out and beat a Trey Lance, we going to be a way better Dallas Cowboys. And I mean a way better. If we can get rid of what's been plaguing us for years, this is the answer, Dallas. This is the answer that y'all been needing to get you over the hump in the playoffs to me.
Well, I think that, the key thing is that our offensive line is going to play extremely, extremely physical. And the reason why the new offensive line coach, new offensive coordinator, run game coordinator, right, that was hired, Clayton Adams, right? He's a guy, and the first thing he says, if you think about it and you look at him, we want to be physical. We want to be physical. We want to be violent was the word that he used. And so because of that violence, you already know what is going to be demanded out of this offensive line and why the investment was made with Booker with the first pick is that they want violence. They want bodies hitting the floor. They want to bloody your nose, man. They want to create physicality at the line of scrimmage and basically dominate and kick your tail. That's what he's saying. And based off us doing that, we're going to run everything else off our playbook. Our playbook centers around us winning at the point of attack. That's what he's saying. And all of the great teams recently and in past history all had offensive lines that could beat you at the point of attack. So I'm excited. And I love the Clayton Adams pickup. I won't get too much into that. But this guy, mark my words, we are going to be a top 6 to 4, between 6 and 4 in terms of leading the league in terms of rushing this season. Watch.
Big, you got something on that, man?
We'll see. We'll see, about the running back situation. I mentioned it today. He mentioned a whole lot of Javonte Williams today. About 4 times he mentioned him. So that means he's on the radar. A lot of people had a lot of good things for Javonte before pre-injury, right? He was a player that had a very good game against the Cowboys, pre-injury. So there's a lot of good things expected from him, before that. So I think we got to see what happens with the injury with him and see how he comes back from that. Miles Sanders. Obviously, you got Jaden Blue. You've mentioned Deuce Vaughn, Boss. So it's a lot of factors. I still feel like they also don't know if they still have their running back on the roster right now. I think they're still making that feel out like they are doing the one tech position, because it leads me to think that those things might be addressed this year, for the simple fact that they made that trade with George Pickens. So that leads me to believe that they'll try to go ahead and look real strong, like you have made a couple of cut lists the last couple of years, boss, with the defensive tackle position. I think this is one year that they really might look at that for real and make a real push for that, because of the things that they did in free agency, the things they did in draft, things they've done with trades. They made about 5 trades. So I can definitely see them doing that, especially going back to OC's point of hitting the ground running for the coach. You want the coach to hit the ground running. So what's the best way to hit the ground running for the coach is you get his players. You get him a one tech, a real one.
A
You get
real
him you get him a running back. You got him a
right.
real you got him a real receiver, right? You got some guys in the draft. You made some trades. Now you really need to show up that middle. Get a real guy. There's gonna be some cuts. You can get a real guy. If you ain't satisfied with this running back, get a real one. You got money to do it. That'll help your coach and the confidence of your team to hit the ground running, because your schedule is a little bit stronger than years past.
Yeah, and I don't really think they doing Brown right on that at all. I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. I think the weapon is what the fans wanted. That's why I still never failed for Ted being the pick if he would have been there at 12. Like, once again, you got Brian Schottenheimer saying that the offensive line going to lead the way, and we really believe he was going to sit back and be with Ted. I don't believe it for a second. It's too many times he done put the emphasis on the offensive line for me to believe that. I don't believe that for, like, even 1 second. But I will say this, without making that the point. The big point is also this. I think they already kind of starting in a way that shows me we got to be aware of the politics that happen in Dallas. We ain't talking about this enough, in my opinion. This what's going on with even like 13, right? Like 13 on Pickens, right? Like people like, boss, they're gonna change if they working it out. I ain't never heard of no guy coming in as the man having a fight for a number over a guy that was one of the drafted guys. If you coming in and you the guy and you're a former number 1, right? And you was the guy over there at Pittsburgh, then yeah, Bill, I need you to come up off that, man. I need you to I need you to come up off that. I need this right here. Yeah, give me that 14. And it's not like, cause see, let's not act like Dallas don't do this. This is exactly what Dallas will do. They'll come right over there and say, hey, Cedric Wilson, you know that number 11? I need you to get that up. You more established than this young guy that's coming in named Michael Parsons. He ain't did nothing yet. But hey, he our drafted guy. So I need you to come up off that. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference already, man, and I'm peeping it. Like, we got to be very mindful of the culture that we have here, where we treat these free agents a little bit different than we treat our drafted guys. Talking about we working it out. He go figure it out. Well, Tolbert is established. Now, they took Cedric Wilson number.
And that's why George Pickens is not signing he ain't in a rush to sign no extension with Dallas. He go play this thing out and bet on himself. And they gonna have to make a decision to pay him handsomely, or he's about to hit the open market. So he's not in no rush. And at the end of the day, man, look, man, you can buy a number off of a player if that's what you chose to do, right? You can negotiate that number and get a player to get that number up, right? So yeah, I get what you're saying, but some of that is kind of like a part of the Cowboys way. Like, these are our boys. See? Right? And but boss, I mean, just real talk. You know that it doesn't really matter if you were a drafted player by the Cowboys, and I'm not saying this is good or bad, but you're like family. It's like, no, you're our boy, you've been here 2 or 3 years, you're a newcomer, right? You come in here and you take whatever number. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm saying that's the mentality.
I don't know what's the mentality on this one, because I'm gonna go ahead and feel boss. I'm not really disagreeing with you, OC, on it, but I'm gonna feel boss on this because I'm in my head. I'm like 13. Who the hell is 13? Why has he got 13? Wasn't that Michael Gallup's number? Like, bruh, he was 14. He was 14 at mud-sucking Pittsburgh. Everybody knows him at 14. And that 14 is hard, dog. Like, the 14 is hard. Everybody knows the 14 is hard. And you got him in 13 with Gallup, dog. Hell no, I don't want that injury stuff on him. Lord knows, Lord, I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm being superstitious right now. I don't want none of that injury shit.
Man,
I want none of that injury shit on no damn. I want none of that injury shit on no mud-sucking George Pickens. Get that damn 13 off his damn back and put 14 on, just like Boss said. Hey, I ain't nobody hating on you, Marquise. We get it, but you was 41 first, weren't you? You know what I'm saying, dog? You was 41 first. I think you was, you know what I mean? And this is George Pickens, bruh. Give it up. That's what it is.
Right.
You done came over here. You done changed everything. Why are we excited? Why are we hyped up? Give up the damn number. Give him some cash, and let's move on. 14, take that damn 13 off of him and look ugly as shit.
Get that off of him, bro. And see,
It look ugly. It look ugly as hell.
See,
take that off him.
Big, I'm gonna tell you what, you're on the same page in the OC.
I don't want that shit. Take that shit off.
See, the OC, they used to like they used the numbers in the 70s. They don't really understand how
that 14 is dog. That 14 is different. Get that shit off of him. Put 14 on now.
Man, you got
tomorrow. I bet you 14 off tomorrow.
Hey, boom, take it off, bro.
Take it off. Take that. That 13 ugly. Take that off. Take that off.
And see, the OC, he's an offensive lineman, so they just throw any number on them, bro. They don't care about them, bro. You don't understand when you a skill position, bro.
I fought for my 74, but I didn't get it. I didn't get 78 in college, but I was like, man, whatever.
But them numbers say something, man. Them numbers show respect.
That's true.
It does. So let's just think about it. And see, my boy Common Sense, he pushed back. He said, "Nah, boss, that's only with the young players, not players that's been here 3 years." When did Cedric Wilson have that 11 taken?
Man, I ain't on that.
He had that, and see, we know who Micah is now, but you didn't know what Micah was going to. Only the OC that forecasted what he was going to do with them sacks. But everybody, you didn't know if he was going to be a linebacker or rush in. You ain't know. And they took that. Hey, Cedric, veteran Cedric, come off that. And then
that's Micah.
That's Micah. Yeah, so now,
That's
and he
Micah.
was a veteran who balled in that 11. He balled in that 11, brother.
Give it up.
Yeah, and they straight say, hey, come over here. Hey, give me that. Give me that 11. Yeah. And he's an established number one. Show some respect, Dallas. That's honestly treating him like a bastard. See, that shows me it don't matter though. So you say Micah first round pick. Pick is he's a number one.
Second, it was a high second round pick, and Marquise was undrafted.
Right.
I mean, this ain't no hate, but let's keep it real.
And he the backup safety. What we doing?
When have we ever seen backup players just get divs over starter dogs? When we seen that?
Man,
when we seen that, y'all? When we seen that?
No,
I ain't seen that.
You right.
I ain't never seen that. When you a dog, you get that number, and sorry, you're gonna have to get the other number. You not the guy. Like, I'm not understanding what's I'm not understanding this one here. He need 14. It enhances the mystique.
Yes.
Right? We were talking about the little mystique. I feel like he has. George Pickens coming over here, what he's been able to do. I mean, dog, the 14. What happened? You gave 88 to CD. Everybody was talking about, oh, he gonna look nice in 2. 2 gonna look nice. What number he got? 88. Why?
Right.
And if somebody else had 88, they'd have been like, give it up. That's CD Lamb. He getting 88. Wouldn't they have did it? Yeah, they would have did it. This is George Pickens. He's a dog. Everybody knows he's a dog. And the ones who say he ain't a dog, them is haters. He's a dog. Give up 14. Give him his cash. Give Marquise his cash. And it could just only be 1 year. We don't know if he's going to be here longer than that, right? We don't know if he's going to be here longer than 1 year, so give up that 14 for 1 year.
Yeah, and my boy said, let Pickens earn everything. See, I think y'all missing the point, man. The point is, the drafted guys get their numbers. They get 94. They get 88. They get 11. Then you get a dog in here, and it's like you got to
trade it. Trade it for it. You traded for a dog.
Right, you traded for a dog. Like, and see, what we talking about is the lack of alignment with Brian. Brian is saying you got to earn it every day. Did they make CeeDee Lamb earn it, or did they give him 88? Because when he came in, Amari was the real 88. He was playing like the 88 when he got here, brother. And if it was about you having to earn it, the first person that should have had 88 should have been Amari. And then after Amari stopped, it should have then went to CeeDee Lamb. Like, hey, y'all gotta. This is our number one.
Amari would have looked weird as hell in 88. You know it.
I know, but I'm just saying though, in terms of coaches, and I'm with you on that. So now, and see, and then Pickens showing he not cool with it because we working it out. We go figure it out.
Yeah, you feel me? He already telling you we gonna work it out. No, dog. See, he already telling you stop being funny. Give us a damn number. Stop being funny. We all hyped about it. It'd be more hype when you tell me the first day of OTAs and you saw him in that damn 14, you wouldn't have been hyped. Pictures would have been everywhere. You got him in ugly ass Gallup. All I saw was Michael Gallup in that damn 13.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did.
Ben, you my boy, man. I don't know what got
into you, bro.
You went offensive lineman take on that one, bro. I wasn't. I thought you was gonna be 20 toes down with me, but you're offensive lineman. I understand, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean, look, to me, it's like one of them things to where I get y'all point. After sitting here listening to y'all, I do get your point, and it's kind of like the principle of the thing. That's basically what y'all say.
Right, it's the principle.
It's
right,
like
the principle.
It's the principle of the thing. I get it. And I think that at the end of the day, showing respect to the dude who's been here, I mean, I don't think it's bad, but like over Pickens, it just shows that the Cowboys typically, man, they're never committed to free agent people. They just try to get you as a rental, get the most out of you. And then
right.
Bygones. You know what I mean? You're more so like you're like the rental, you know what I'm saying? Like they're committed completely to draft picks and people that, you know, have been here and then maybe re-signed with them, you know. But like I said, Pickens he didn't sign with no extension, so he's pretty much on a 1 year. He's on a prove a year. So if he proves it, then hey man, he gets paid by somebody else probably rather than Dallas. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But he got to prove it, and then a lot of things got to go right. And hey man, maybe he gets re-signed here. I mean, but he's gonna make a lot of money, and he's gonna make a lot of money because of how Shotty's gonna run this offense. And this dude's gonna get a whole bunch of one-on-ones. And when he gets those 50-50 balls, it's gonna be going down. I guarantee you that it's gonna be going down.
I'll put it like this: we would be so much better if we allowed them free agents to win their names like we do the draft picks. If we was like, you know what, I'm not giving none of y'all 88. Y'all got to take it. Boy, we would be nice, but we don't function like that. Dallas, Shotty is the one right on this. Front office, y'all wrong on this. If y'all go ahead and accept the coach of true competition, Dallas go start getting over the hump. When you stop treating your free agents different than your draft picks, you go start getting over the hump. Let me go to this next subject because this was so interesting to me.
George Pickens. I think even after the draft had concluded, all of us were looking at your roster saying, man, they need a player opposite of CeeDee Lamb to sort of complete the offense, and you guys were able to get it done this week.
Yeah, all credit to Jerry and Shotty for pushing it and making sure we stayed on top of it. And after the draft, we continued to go through and look at guys that may be available, that we heard were available, and got on the phone with a couple people, and that we heard were available, and got on the phone with a couple people. Look at guys that may be available, that we heard were available, and got on the phone with a couple people. And look at guys that may be available, that we heard were available, and got on the phone with a couple people.
More about that CD draft when you picked him, the Micah draft when you picked him. Can you describe what the room is like once the draft goes live and you're waiting to see how you have to read and react as players come off the board?
Yeah, I think to me, as they come off, I'm just focusing on what happens when he gets there. Okay? If as they're coming off, I don't like there, then I'm saying, boys, is that phone ringing? And by the way, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. Picking up the phone and calling will not do the job. The phone has to be ringing.
Tried to work some things out, and they came to that may be available, that we heard were available, and got on the phone with a couple people, and tried to work some things out, and they came.
Y'all see the difference? Y'all see the difference? Mm-hmm. So on the old philosophy, they were saying, yeah, you lose leverage when you pick up the phone. And I'm sitting over there, is that phone ringing? These leverage games. What got George Pickens done?
It's reaching out.
People that they heard was interested, might be interested, and this time they did what they said they don't do, and they got on the phone and started actually shopping. Do y'all remember when Derrick Henry said, "Jerry got my number blocked"?
That's funny.
Let's see, that might be the Shotty effect, because we've been hearing Steven was out there in the streets pushing and pushing. Then we hear Will McClay come out there and say, well, credit to Shotty and Jerry for staying on it even after the draft. So to me, that's again the Shotty effect, saying, okay, we got our guy. I told you I wanted to get physical. I wanted to, really solidify these trenches. Now let's go out there and see who's out there so we can really make it happen. He said, player acquisition is 24/7, right? So as soon as it was over, they still were trying to make that push. And so, like I said, that's a Shotty effect. And I also feel like they trust him. And when you heard Will McClay toward the end of that part where they were saying, well, how did you feel? There's been talk about the on and off field. And he said, we feel comfortable about the locker room. We feel comfortable about Shotty because he's building a culture where you're having real conversations. You're having real talks. You're talking to people like grown men. And that's what they want. I mean, they want to have real conversations. So many times you see these players, OC, Boss, they'll wake up and see they've been traded on ESPN and they ain't even hear from the agent, they ain't hear from the owner, they didn't hear from the organization, they ain't hear from nobody. So there's a lot of fakeness and they don't get a lot of real talk from these coaches, right? A lot of coaches say they talking real, but they really don't talk real to these players. Just a lot of deceit. Oh yeah, you'll be starting the next week. They ain't, and they be you see this thing going on with Hendricks with Cincinnati right now. He said there was promises to him, and now they've been broken, and that's why he's holding out. So there ain't real conversations. So that's what we're talking about with real conversations right here. And that's what I like what Shotty's doing, and I think that's what I feel like one of the reasons he came over here as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's just so interesting to me that Dallas Cowboys. It shows me that I gotta ask you a question. How many deals did we possibly lose because we was trying to play that leverage game of the first person to call loses?
Tons.
A lot.
Tons. It made you have a losing season this year. It made you.
That's what you talk about, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. I mean, it made you be a couple key pieces short. That's probably they didn't that's probably why they didn't re-sign Hankins, because the agent didn't call him back or something like that. Instead of them calling the agent, they lost him for less than $1 million extra. You know what I mean?
Did. It was less than $1 million.
So
it really was.
It was some petty stuff probably like that. And at the end of the day, it's really good that Schottenheimer is a newer school coach and thinks in today's language, because today's language is social media, reaching out, talking, communication.
He's still young.
It's like it's an ecosystem environment. Like you
it
gotta
is.
reach out, you gotta talk to people. It's like that's the thing. That's the thing. So when Shotty is at the helm, this gives me courage and encouragement to say they're going to end up finding a good back. And if they find a good back and they find a good real DT, that's a real one,
man,
the Cowboys are going to be pretty dangerous. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that they can find a good back. When I say a good back, I don't mean they got to sign a Derrick Henry. I mean they got to sign a guy that has some tread that can get you 4 to 5 yards to toe. That's what they need. A guy that can get you 4 to 5 yards to toe, enough to set up the play action pass and force defenses to play 8 and 9 in the box. Because if you do that, we get one-on-one matchups, baby. And after that, it's curtains.
You preaching, boy.
It's curtains.
You killing it right now.
That's what it is, man. And so I really believe that. And I believe that being in this offense is the best offense. It's the best of all worlds. The burden is on the offensive line. But for skill position players, it's the best of all worlds, because you're going to keep a quarterback clean because you run the ball so much. You're going to play action pass him. He's going to get open throwing windows. You're going to get one-on-one matchups with your good receivers. You're going to have to cover the wide receivers or squeeze down on the tight end. You got a good enough tight end to make something happen. Even with Jake Ferguson, even with Shoemaker, you have 2 good enough tight ends to make something happen underneath. So you will be in a really, really, really good position, man, to really do a lot of damage. So big.
I mean, just like what I think B the guy says right here, Derrick Henry would eat on his team right now. I think he would. Now this is last year I said, man, why you getting Derrick Henry? He would not do nothing with his team because his team was not physical. So there was no point in getting a Derrick Henry for this team last year. This wasn't a physical team. He wouldn't have been what Derrick Henry was at Baltimore.
No.
But now I feel like there's a different mindset with the coach and the coaching. And I think that's trickling down and I think he's really preaching physicality. He's really preaching offensive and defensive lines. And, I hear what y'all saying about getting a back. We get that dog. We get a doggish one tag, a doggish one. I feel like that's really going to change our fortunes because this team that's the biggest thing to me. This team has lacked for so long is a real dog, one tech, a dog, like somebody who really can, who's big, not like 280, undersized, and overachieving. Nah, one of them Vita Vea types. Now I know that's not going to probably be out there, but what I'm saying is there are going to be some guys in crowded. They keep on talking about DJ Reader. I'd be excited if they got that because he's a pretty good player, and he's what you need, 6'3", 330 for real. Now you make Mozzie. I hear what you've been saying, boss, about Mozzie, but I'm sorry I can't trust him right now. and I need somebody ahead of him to push him. I need somebody ahead of him and not let him be the man. He
Yeah,
needs somebody ahead of him to push him to be even a better player. He
yeah.
need to, and
I
that's
like
what we
that,
need.
Big.
We don't need to
I
put
love it.
him back as like,
The
okay,
guy.
Mozzie's a start again. No, he can't be that because I feel
Push
like
him.
he's gonna fail if he is.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Big. I love what you're saying because that's what Shotty is saying. That's what Vosh said. I said Vosh said the wisdom of the offseason is when Philly acquire guys, they try to push they drafted guys down. They make them sink or swim. They make them sink or swim, and that's what we should do with Mozzie. It should be like that really across the board, bro.
Right.
It should be like that across the board. And I do see like a dissension, man. That's this is not like our front office. Front office is being pushed right now. Shout out to Brian, man. Shout out to Brian. Brian is showing that he came in here to actually do some real change, y'all. This is some real change that Brian is doing, that he's going for. And I think he's doing it right. You got to do it now. You got to do it while they giving you rope. Because they ain't gonna give you no rope if you start having some hiccups.
Right.
You gotta go for it now. And he's doing that. He's going out there by himself on them press conferences. Ever since Jerry came out there and said something different on competition, he been out there by himself since.
Yeah.
Brian been out there like, I speak for the team, not y'all. I speak. And that's I wasn't expecting this big. Shout out to the Libras, bro.
Yeah, man.
I was I mean, I'm not gonna say I was expecting this, but I know he was assertive. And I feel like once
Yeah,
he
he
got the
assertive
power,
for sure.
and I think that's another thing that you know, we can flow, and you know, we talked about boss, like we can definitely flow and take the back seat to somebody who's in leadership. You know what I'm saying? But if you go ahead and give us the keys can definitely can run with the keys. You know what I mean? Can definitely run with the keys when you feel like, okay, this is mine. I can put my own stamp on it. Ain't nobody in the way. Okay, now I'm gonna really do it the way I want to. Then this is gonna be the way I've always envisioned it. And I feel like this is what it is. And I feel like, you know, people talk about, he said he had opportunities before, but you know, sometimes I think that's in life. Some people are just like, you know what, I like this opportunity, but I'm gonna go ahead and wait because I feel like something will better come along. And I feel like he said he waited for an opportunity like this, and now he said he's gonna go full go. I'm not gonna waste this opportunity. I'm not gonna waste this opportunity. And I feel like that's what you see from him, boss and OC, that he's very assertive, saying that this is gonna be real here. This ain't gonna be just talking. I've seen it from afar and I didn't like it that way. This is the way it's gonna be now, and this is what we're gonna do. And I like that as far as accountability. I feel like there's been accountability. That's the
Yeah.
biggest word that I've been feeling more than anything else since Shotty's been here is accountability. It feels like there's accountability going to be across the board with this team, and there's not going to be excuses.
I want to say one last thing though. They not doing Brian right, and you not really trying to get Brian off to a hot start unless you get him a running back, unless you get him a one tech. Until you show me that you are willing to stop the run and run the ball with the two most important pieces, because I'm glad you built the front, but the last piece of an offensive line is going to be your running back. And the fact that he was talking about in the press conference today, we don't know. We're going to have to figure it out with the running game. We don't really know until they put the pads on, right? That's displaying that he don't have confidence, in my opinion, in that running game. He doesn't. And he don't have confidence. You can't have confidence in that one tech. I don't think Dallas front office is serious. And I don't think you're serious until you get us another one tech in here with Mozzie as a veteran. I ain't trusting them rookies. And I'm not trusting people with no reps at that position. I'm not.
But can't you? But okay, I can agree with you on the one take, but at the running back position, can't you say, well, we at least want to go in there and see what Javonte Williams is looking like before we make a move? Because
I give you that. I work with you on that. You know, but
let's
I
see
feel
what we
like
have first before we just jump out there and get somebody.
Well, I also feel like there's some people in here that you should bring in because of the upside and the cost. So I think you should bring in a Chubb like right now. We talking
But
about.
nobody's touching him right now.
I know,
So maybe
but
that's
that don't
why.
mean. But he could be taken tomorrow. He could. Like, there's a chance, right? And let's say if he don't, if nobody took him, fine. You wait and see. I would still want him in here right now while they teaching him the offense, while they giving them the OTAs, while they giving them the foundation of the offense. I would want him in there right now, and I would want to know with my one tech and my running back that they're starting right now. And this is what Mike McCarthy said that teams do. He said your better teams have all their key pieces in here by April. That's what he said. We're in May. We're at the end of May. So you want to have all your guys in here like now. And so then when the pass come on, it really solidifies. But all this waiting to see June 1st, it's like, why did you free up all that money to be so cheap right now on trying to get a couple of more pieces that'll really have you a true contention? Like, you got Pickens, but you're not done, Dallas. You're not serious. You're not serious until it's one take in here with Mozzie, and there's a running back in here that everybody has confidence in. And then I like Williams, but who else is going to be with Williams?
Yeah, I think what Big said is important. They're looking to see what he can do because he's a young back. Like, he's like a fifth year guy, I believe, something like that, fifth or sixth year guy. And he's a downhill runner. He can catch screens, right? He still has good speed. He's a physical guy. He's a one-step and go dude, right? He gets downhill very, very well. He breaks tackles. So if he shows enough, boss, he could be good enough. He could be good enough, especially with the other piece that you drafted, fast dude. Then you got Deuce, right? They're going to compete for the scat back. And then I'm saying this, boss, because it wasn't conventional wisdom when Schottenheimer was at Seattle. They rushed for 1,000 yards apiece with two no-name running backs.
But you know the difference, though? I'm going to push you back a little bit and let you finish.
Push.
What's the difference between those backs and these backs?
It's really not a big difference because those
say style, bro. They had power backs over there.
No. They had one dude that was 205 pounds. They had another dude that was 220 pounds. I forget the names of these guys. I got to Google it.
Oh.
I'll talk to you. This was.
What are you talking about?
He talking about Seattle.
I'm talking about when Schottenheimer was at Seattle. It was two backs they had there. There were no-name backs. And they both rushed.
Yeah, I think one of them was like Cason or something like that.
Yeah,
they were guys that were nobody. And they
rushed. They
2,000 yards. I think they had like 2,000 yards.
Yeah, combined they rushed for 2,000 yards. So I'm saying, if you pushed all your chips in, right, with the offensive line, and you got one of the best downhill drive blocking tackles I've seen when relatively healthy in years, in Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele is an animal. Terrence Steele will smooth, run you over, and blow you off the ball. I think this helps Terrence Steele a lot. This extends his career. This helps him help protect him. This helps BB. We already know Tyler Smith is a road grader, right? Tyler Guyton is a guy that has to be able to latch and finish blocks a little bit better, but he's athletic and physically good enough to do it. I haven't seen him work and see where he is at this point, but this really helps you. So yeah, we want a better guy in here, no doubt about it. But if you get productivity out of the guys here, it would be better than I think you think, boss. And that's all I'll say. It could be better than what you think.
Yeah, when I watched those guys, because I looked at all of them. I did a film review of all of them. The thing I don't like about Williams, I agree with everything you said, except I don't see strong vision with Williams.
Yeah.
That was the knock on him, is he missed at least 3 good quality cutbacks, consistently. It's like he don't see that cutback, He go bang it, he go bounce it, but he ain't gonna cut back. That's just not his thing. Just being honest.
I agree with you. And he's not that kind of running back. And the cutback flow is not his flow. The cutback flow is gonna be Blue's flow. Right?
Yeah, I don't even think that's Blue. I'll see Deuce on the cutback.
Okay.
I don't see Blue on that at all.
I think Blue has cutback ability. That's my opinion, right? And it has to be proved out. But you got a guy that's more of a hammer, right? You got a guy, that's go bounce it, he's go bang it. He's not a cutback guy. He's a get downhill north-south guy, which is go move the needle. And what that does, boss, is it wears defenses out. And it gets your time of possession up. That's what that does. That protects your defense. And then what it does is if you get up in the game, it makes that offense be in a rush and pass more than what they want to pass. And then you got two bookends now that's gonna get double-digit sacks. So I'm saying they do need another running back. I agree with you, but I'm saying even kind of now, based upon how well he does, it's setting up. I see what Shotty's doing. I see the vision. It's setting up to be something pretty good. That's just a thought.
Hold on real quick. My boy Philly 500 say Dak stinks. Listen, bro, I know you ain't serious. Joe running back ass quarterback. If you don't go sit down, like literally, bro, like I can't believe Philly coming here bragging on quarterback. If anything, y'all should be bragging on the squad you built. But you sure can't brag on your running back. Go out 26, real talk. Hey, did you have anything on that?
I mean, once again, I think they're just kind of. I'll feel you when you're talking about being serious. I think you really need to address that one tech and stop playing them games with it. I
Yeah, that's
think you should
first.
address that. I feel like
Yeah.
you should address that earlier. That's bigger than me than running back right now. I feel like if you really attacking that, then that makes me think different things. But once again, there are teams, and you said it yourself, boss. You said it last year when I was frustrated. Remember when I was frustrated last year about the one text, and you was
Yep.
like, "But hold on, Jay. We gonna look at they looking at the cuts. So let's look at the cuts." So now it's reversed now, boss. I'm telling you to hold on. Let's see how these cuts go because there might be some guys that slip through the cracks that you really can't get. We know that to be true. There will be some overstacked defensive lines that a guy may be getting cut that you wouldn't think, and you can pick him up. You know what I'm saying? So I say let's look at that. And as far as the run game, I think they really just want to see what they have. What if Williams is coming back? This will be like a few years removed from that knee injury. I feel like he has played a little bit of a zone type system, and let's see what he has. He's still young. He's only like 24 years old. Let's see what he has. You know what I mean? Let's see what he has before we jump on the wire. I want to give him a chance because I heard Schottenheimer mention him, like I said, 4 times in that presser and talk about him. So I feel like there's interest there. There's keen interest, and I think he wants to see. And I feel like he's going to get a legitimate chance if he shows anything in camp, and I think that's what they're waiting on in him. But to your point again, boss, go ahead.
Because to be fair with what both of you are saying, we did say our offensive line make a big difference on some okay running backs.
Huge.
Like we saw McFadden when we had Zach Martin in here and Lyle Collins playing that guard. Them boys was acting like donkeys and they was old and knock-kneed. And Alfred Morris, even with the absence of Zeke, was balling too. His average was up there with Zeke. People forget that. He never fell forward like Zeke and power run like Zeke and vision. But that offensive line was really the crux of it. Well, but I would still want to say I would want to see a deeper commitment, but I'm going to also submit to y'all. And y'all saying, let's get the pads on, let's look at them then, and then let's revisit. Hey, I ain't going to fight that. I just want some guys in here that can really be serious about the run game. If they not, and I say wait on that. I say okay, cool. We'll wait on that. We'll see them in camp. But then if camp is still kind of like,
okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, then you can research on this. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Last year, all right, who was the running back for the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh, that was Cook, right? Not Cook. That was Connor, old man Connor.
Do you think Connor was a great running back?
Nah, he was a power back. He was physical. That's it. He was kind of like Williams, a little bit better viz.
Okay. The offensive coordinator / offensive game guy was the coach that put together that run scheme.
No, I agree.
Okay, let me ask you another question. And you may have to go back on this. Who was the running back back in 2023, 2022 for the Colts. Better running back, though.
23?
22 and 23.
That was Taylor.
Yes. And he's a great running back.
Yeah.
But he had no-name offensive linemen blocking for him, except for the center who made a Pro Bowl, the other guys that made a couple Pro Bowls because he had such a great year, and they ain't made Pro Bowls since 2023. The offensive line over there. I'm giving you some facts to say that a part of this is offensive line. A part of this can be the running back. A part of this is coaching, culture, and scheme too. Coaching, culture, and scheme plays a big part to play about how you open gaps and how you attack horizontally and vertically defensive lines. Clayton Adams put together that run portfolio in Indianapolis as well. My point to you is simply this, is that you got the right guy to put together a strong run game in the building, Clayton Adams. And so I think that even with what you have now, barring injury or just complete underperformance, I think you're going to have a strong running game, stronger than most people realize right now with the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have a strong run game, bro. I'm not 100%, but today I'm very confident that you're going to have a strong run game.
And let me see, because what we debate now is good to really good. That's what we debate now.
Okay. See,
you pushing for good. I'm saying we could get to what.
I'm not pushing for good. I'm pushing for really good. I said earlier in the show.
So we talking about really good to great. Then.
Yeah, I'm saying really good to great. Really good. I'm saying top 5 to top. So let's go back. All right, and I'm using an example. Indy finished.
But my point is, with the right back or backs, man, like for instance, Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah.
Behind that offensive line,
yeah,
it's totally different than if you would have put these guys back there.
But I don't know if Nick Chubb is doing that though, boss. In my opinion, I get, but that was a bad knee injury. I mean, he looked okay last year. You know what I'm saying? That was a bad knee injury. That wasn't just one of them regular knee injuries. And he's already had knee injuries before. At Georgia, he's had injuries. So it's not like he's like that guy, super explosive, cut back, killing you like that. It's not like he's like that. So,
I just think he's better than what we got. If it depends on his medical. See, we ain't checked his medical, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's very hard to find a non-expensive good back that don't got some tread or injuries on their tires. Like, that's hard. Like a good, inexpensive, really good back, bro, that like don't got no injury history or just got a lot of tread on their tires. Like most of those guys get signed, right? And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's not just hanging out, across the street. It's like something you really got to dig into. That's my opinion.
Gotcha. I want them to stay open to it. I don't want them to close the book on running back.
I agree with that.
One tech first, yes.
One tech first, yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely first, but then after that, because I feel like we close, and I want them to stay aggressive. I don't want them to get passive. I feel like they starting to get passive. I don't want passive. Especially if you're talking about a guy that checked out and that's super low cost. It's like, why not? Like, goddamn. Just like Philly, they threw Julio old ass at something. They threw him at wide receiver 3 because they was trying it. They was like, well, if he come in and ball, well, cool. If he don't, shit, we ain't lose nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, why can't we do something?
I feel that part of it. Like, I definitely feel that part. Just, it ain't hurting to try because it ain't like you got the money and ain't nobody doing nothing to you as the front office people. That's what we've been talking about, even with the pick and trade. Because people are saying, well, he could just be a rental, then you miss out on that paper. I don't give a flying F. The fact that they actually went out there and tried and did it, I'm cool with that. So if it didn't work out, I'm cool that you tried.
Yeah.
That's what I'm cool with.
Bond was like that. Bond was, let's try. He seen watch, but guess what? Super upside on that one. Sometimes they fly, sometimes they hit.
It ain't gonna hurt you because y'all always trying at them damn undrafted kids y'all going after them all the damn time and taking chances on them and taking chances on first round busts all the time. So why can't you take a chance on this to make your team, like you just said, competition and makes your team better? If you brought a Nick Chubb in, you don't know what he is, but I'm gonna say everybody in that running back room will probably come to more of attention. Like, oh, Chubb here, maybe I'm gonna probably practice a little bit harder because Chubb might come in here and take a spot. You got what I mean? That's what competition does. And CD and Pickens, you're not gonna take his other spot, but just the fact that I know he's a dog, he's gonna get catches. I want them catches, so I'm gonna practice a little bit harder. You get what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
when Joe Milton is there, yeah, you ain't taking Dak's spot, but there's upside. And you start throwing them passes, that's gonna make me stay on point in what I'm doing because I don't want to have anybody having any thoughts of you trying to replace. That's real. And so I
Well,
think that's what competition brings more than anything else.
and I think that it's really good and healthy what Shad is doing. Because something I want to point out just for the audience is this: is that when you have a strong competition culture, it is basically akin to the next man up culture. That's what it is. So you're already establishing this next man up because guess what? If you get hurt or if you ain't playing good, guess what? We putting somebody else in the game. And that is the best culture and environment in a 17 regular season NFL season, so that, man, injuries happen, this and that happen. You're setting an expectation that we still want elite performance, regardless if we had all our dogs, regardless who's injured. It's next man up mentality. And that's what he's laying the groundwork for right now, which is, I think, is going to pay dividends for the Cowboys as the season gets kicked off.
All right, man, let me play this last thing because to me, this is what really solidified Shotty to me.
When it does come to culture, how important is Dak just to the entire operation of you setting that tone the way that you want to?
I love
We
that
want
right
Dak
there.
to play quarterback.
Yeah.
I love that part right there. That was my I love when he said that.
Yeah, we ain't putting this all on Dak like that. I love that,
He
bro.
ain't the only dude here.
Yeah, this ain't about Dak leading us on the coaching campaign. I
Right.
love that, bro.
Yes.
And that
I
ain't
love it
knocking
too.
Dak. That ain't knocking Dak. He's saying
No.
basically it's bigger than one guy. Coaches,
Yes.
all of us. See, I'm
Yes.
peeping Shotty, bro. I'm peeping him.
Yeah.
Like it's and man, hold on, we got
I loved it.
He say, for all three, we get insurance at corner on one thing. How do you think we get love this show on Boss? I feel we need the shoes in this tight ass suit. Yeah, he talking about one tech. Absolutely. We do need them shoes. That's first. That's before anything. Man. I absolutely agree with that. Now, but let me play this.
The entire operation of you setting that tone the way that you want to.
We want Dak to play quarterback to the best of his ability. He's a great culture piece because he's such a good dude, and he's such a great teammate, and his story is incredible. But when you talk about culture, it's more than just one guy, and
boy,
that's what I think I'm so excited about with all the new pieces that we've added. And it probably sounds coach speak, but it's really not. We've added all these new pieces. So it's our job as a coaching staff to get these guys to hang out together outside of the building, spend time together in the building, get to know each other. Coaches get with their players, go to dinner, do.
Let me pause that for a second, bro. So when I was looking at this the other day, right, and I was, just made my comments. Let me turn this off. When I made my comments about what I was seeing, and this is so smart what he doing, bro. I said, I love how the Dallas O-line hanging out on Dallas hockey. The young brotherhood is forming nicely. That's what I said, right? And you can really see them dudes genuinely having a good time together, bro. And I said to myself, damn, why they the only group that's doing that, right? But now that I'm listening to Shotty, he like, nah, it ain't one guy. This is what I'm preaching that I talk to them about y'all need to get together. So now when I look at it and say, okay, that's why they was at the Stars game like that, because they getting behind what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? That the culture is real. It's real. Like you can see them in the streets with it. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And The main reason why I call this absolutely genius, man. I used to always say this when I was in college. When we used to have our best practices and our best games, it was when our coaches didn't talk about the game. When he would talk to us about life, we would go out there and just destroy. We would destroy. Like we would all just get us. It was something about when people cared about you, bro. I don't think you had that in your offensive line room, OC, but I had that with Donnie Henderson, and I had that with damn, I forgot the other coach name. He's strength and conditioning coach at Colorado. Swayze. Man, I had that with them, bro. Like they would stop and talk to us about life. Like one time he talked to us about, hey man, did y'all get 70% of y'all degrees out the way yet? And we was like, what? He was like, you didn't know? You got to have 70% of your major out the way, or they gonna make you do a degree that you don't want. And Coach Hen was talking to us about our degrees, right? And how you can get pimped at the university. And we ain't talk about nothing that day but that. Well, we went out there and acted a fool. So I see what Shotty doing, and it's genius because when I play because I love you big, it's a whole lot level. It's a whole deeper level than you just being my teammate. When we in the streets together, when you actually come to my house and stuff like that, and you play with my kids, and you know about my dog, and we get on the game together, and we really like homies, but then we go out there and fight the enemy together, oh, it's a whole nother level of fighting me. I promise you that. Like when I was playing with my partners in high school, I dislocated my shoulder and popped it in because of how they was playing, and I wasn't gonna let them down. But they was also my partners in the street. They was like, bro, you know what I mean? So now Brian it's real what he doing. It's real and it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. He said,
I think Big froze. He froze.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
back.
good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when they asked about Dak being a leader, it was Dak has okay. So it's okay. Let me say this in a real nice way. It's a proven situation with Dak. Dak has to prove he can be trusted for the culture that Shotty wants to establish. And Shotty ain't about to anoint nobody, no captain or leader right now, unless you turn into one of those dudes I can trust for the culture that I want to establish. That was the undertone I got from that. I could say something else, but I'm not. But if you got discernment, you can kind of flow with what I'm saying. He was like, because I'm trying to set this thing up a certain way. And in a gentleman way, yeah, it's more than one player, right? But I'm not supposed to anoint nobody as the centerpiece to say that you're the man just because you've been here and you number 4. You got to fall into what I want as the organizational lead in terms of this football culture. He was saying a lot there. It's almost like, okay, so Nick Sirianni got the extension, right, which is undisclosed. It was Super Bowl with the Eagles, right? All right, so if you watch their ownership, right, sit in the box. He's smug. He's a gangster billionaire. He said everything that we wanted in a coach in terms of culture, Nick Sirianni has determined that, and he has done those things. And as an organization, we wanted to have that type of leadership in the Philadelphia Eagles organization, and he got re-signed because of that. So he kept everything about the Eagles, the organization, the culture we want, the Eagles. Now, we know that Nick's the head coach, but the emphasis was on the culture, the organization, what we wanted to do, and Nick being a part of that. Even though he got the extension, yada yada, and you notice if you watch them on TV, you will notice it's always a little bit of like it's humility around that owner with Nick Sirianni. It's an understanding of who's the real lead. That's what I'm saying, and that's what Schottenheimer is really establishing at a deeper level than people realize. That's what he's doing.
B.
You know what OC keeps on mentioning Sirianni. I made a video today, And I think I had mentioned Sirianni before when they were talking about hiring Schottenheimer because there was no fanfare with Sirianni. Remember that. He was not the big name. He was not the who's who. But he was a guy that was kind of like a homegrown guy, a guy that they felt like he was like from within, someone that they could trust. And what did they do? They said, you know what, you're beginning, but we're going to put a lot of pieces around you so you can be successful because we think we like you and you embody. He embodied that Philly culture from day one. We all hated him, but he embodied that Philly antagonistic culture, and they grew to love him. And look what has happened. He gets an extension. He's become like the Philly guy now, right? So
Yeah,
I feel like in that aspect that's what Cowboys may have slipped on with Schottenheimer because the first thing they said was, Schottenheimer, you've been in the league 25 years, man. You still just not giving him a job. You know, it was a lot of, really? You hired this guy? But because it wasn't one of those guys, this may be better for Dallas because he already had a pulse of the team because he'd been around the team for about 3 years. And I just feel like there's not a lot of real coaches in this league, in my opinion. There's not a lot of real coaches, period. When I used to
period.
coach youth football, there wasn't a lot of real coaches. A lot of them coaches was there for the women. They wanted to feel people
The
brag on
women,
them because they
the
had a good
mamas.
team. The mamas, you know what
That's
I'm
crazy.
saying, bro? Like real talk. Like there wasn't a lot of coaches there for the kids. And when the kids really saw um, a coach really care for them, you saw the difference, boss. You saw the difference
That's
when they
right.
knew the
It's a
coaches really
difference,
cared
bro.
about them.
They
The
play
teams
different,
played
bro.
difference.
They
They
do.
were good. They were
Real.
good. They were
That's
very
right.
disciplined in
That's right.
practice.
Mm-hmm.
Practices were easy. They weren't hard practices. You go there from 6 to 8. Next thing you know, the practice over, and the kids is mad because they still want to practice because the practice was so fun and into it. You didn't want to
Ooh.
leave practice because practice was exciting. You didn't want to end practice was fun. You had a good time. Them was your brothers. And that's what he's talking about right now. We're not just talking about it. We want you really to be brothers. Because if you're brothers, when the chips are down, you're going to fight for each other and not fight against each other. You'll fight
Ooh.
for each other and not against each other. And I think that's what he's trying to build more than anything else.
Man, he's smoking it, bro. Hey, listen, I started the show saying this. I don't care about talking. I don't care about that. Some people, well, I love it when he talks. Oh, just every time he talks. I don't give a damn about that. I love what I'm seeing, bro. I love that I see these dudes coming together for the Stars game. I see how Booker are, like, you know what I'm saying? You see Steele with his head back laughing into it. You see Tyler Smith looking at BB like, let's go. Like, even though he looked like he don't really understand hockey, but it's real, bro. You telling me they ain't gonna fight harder together when they been spending the summer with each other at each other's house, going to lunch with their coach. So now when Brian's get on them, they gonna know it's in love. Like, if you know what I'm saying, like now when Brian say, bro, you need to pick it up, Dak, right? This ain't just some dude who ain't spending no time with you. I'll take you to lunch. You know, if I'm getting on you, know I mean it. I have a relationship with you. Nah, this is great, man. Like, I love how this is starting. This is something the words could be now about the X's and O's and how it comes together. And front office finishing shopping. One tech is first. I'm gonna also submit to what you guys said on running back, and let's wait to see how it play out when they get in here. My eyes tell me we need more. I'm gonna just be honest. I feel like I want more.
I'm not saying that.
And
I
they
don't disagree
young.
with you. I don't disagree with you either. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that if people are healthy, you can have a good result without it. But I think we do need another one though. I do. That's what my eyes see too. But I think that it also could work out. So I'm not.
You're not being greedy.
Right.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah, and people like you fur the front office because everybody like to spend other people's money.
Yeah, easy. Trust me. Trust. They do. They do. We'll spend your money in a minute.
But I appreciate the fairness out of you and Big. You know, I'm a little bit greedy than y'all running back, but I do recognize the point y'all making. Let me go ahead and give my final word, bro.
Yeah.
Summing everything up, I'll say this, man. I'm super happy on what I'm seeing. Big fella, God, dog. I'm super happy on what I'm seeing. And we got a lot of people in here, so make sure y'all hit that like. We got close to 400 people in here.
Yeah, man. Like and subscribe, please.
So, like, I like that Brian is truly showing the culture. I love that. He's showing it. This is gonna pay off. Honestly, OC, and I'm being honest when I say this, bro. This is what we lacked when we was playing ball. None of our coaches worked on what Brian is doing. And I used to say that. I used to be like, bro, I don't mess with none of the white players. They don't come, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't listen to their music. They don't come mess with me. I don't mess with them, right? It was no real efforts to cause the different divisions to come together. It wasn't. Not like what he doing. You know what I mean? Like, and like how he said in the beginning, the stars are in it, and we're using the stars to build competition. Yeah. And that's real. Yeah. He said boss got personal. Yeah. Cause see, the OC know I'm telling the truth. We was a divided team, bro.
Yeah.
Like the corners didn't mess with the tackles and the guards. We didn't mess with y'all. We didn't mess with the running backs. We didn't do none of that. But then we supposed to have each other back. Nah.
Right.
We didn't have each other back like we should have. Like the relationship that I got with Jabari right now, I should have been had this in college. If I would have had the relationship I got with you now, man, I would have broke my arm for you, bro. You hear me?
Yeah.
I would have ran through a wall for you. Like, oh yeah, because this is my brother. This is my blood brother now. You feel me? But we didn't bond until really after college. That's when we really became, and we was totally different. He an offensive line, I'm a cornerback. We totally different spectrums, but it's the friendship that'll make me run through a wall for him now. You know what I'm saying? So I just love what I'm seeing with Brian on that. And I would also say with Pickens, I ain't crazy on what I'm seeing. I ain't crazy. When you talking about skill positions, it means something. It means something. This man is coming in here as a former number one. You took that chain. You took that chain, or you took that from Cedric Wilson. You took his 11. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just took it. It was no question. Matter of fact, they asked you about it, Jerry, and you took it.
Mm-hmm.
See, I really need front office to align with what Brian is trying to do. They still offline, OC. They not under the line, bro. They offline. See, when he talk about competition, they start talking about if you pay a guy, they over here, right? Like he over here, like, hey, we got a former number one that's now finna be a 2 number ones, and they over here like, but Bell, that's his number. If that's what he want. Pickens the type of player that's just like Michael Parsons from this standpoint. You already know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. That's the type of player that says, I want my number to be X, and you go get him his number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my true final word now is this. Dallas, what Brian is trying to bring to y'all is what y'all always needed. Y'all always needed to get your thumb off the scale. Y'all always needed to stop the if we pick them, we got to play them. This has always been your counsel.
That's the most important thing is if you pick them, you got to use them.
That has always been your counsel. That would never bring the best out of your team. That would never bring the best out of your team. What it makes is it makes an entitlement of the drafted guys. It also kills the morale. When you literally are calling some of the people on your team ours, what does that also say about the people that wasn't drafted? That also means you don't look at them like they're yours. That's honestly a toxic culture. And I'm glad Brian is trying to form y'all right. Don't get in his way. Let Brian cook. And this don't need to be for a short period. He needs at least 3 years of letting this marinate into the culture of the Dallas. Because what he truly building is a championship culture if you get out the way. That's my final word. And I say that with all love. My Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, I believe that the Dallas have a prime opportunity to have a much better bounce back year than most people think possible. Still need a defensive tackle. Could use some more help in the running back room, and allow Brian to lead. That's always been the sentiment of every new head coach that I've seen it since I've been doing content. Let even Mike McCarthy lead, right? Let Brian Schottenheimer lead, right? Don't little brother your head coach, especially publicly, right? Let him do what he has to do. And Brian is going to help lead your team to a really, really good spot, man. And I think the Cowboys will be built through the foundation of this culture to be competitively really, really strong, even in the playoffs, and to be able to line up and be physical and run the football, play action pass, have a tough, stingy defense. And that's championship football, man. So continue to allow Brian to build this thing. Stay out of the way, give him the support that he needs. And also on the sidebar, I think that the Pickens situation will smooth out itself, because the great benefit that Schottenheimer has is that he's the head coach and he hired the play caller. So when, and not if, when Pickens has early success, they're going to have to put some respect on his name. And he is going to be the chief, and he's going to need to be the chief advocate for Pickens to smooth some of this stuff out, us versus them, ours versus theirs type scenario, all right? But we looking good so far. It's a lot of good things. If you're a Cowboys fan, it's a lot of good things to be excited about coming up. So that's my final word. And hey, man, salute. And boss, I don't know if are you still on, boss?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Okay. Did you cut the stream?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, go ahead, boss. You got it.
Yeah. All right, man. Y'all take it easy, man. We out.
Salute.
Salute.